Hello there, my name's Hannah and I want to talk to you today about my new Hoover washing machine. Now this one is one of the One-Touch Dynamic Next models and it's a 10 kilogram capacity with a 1400 RPM and a AAA rating, so it's really energy efficient, this one. The main pull factor for me is the fact that it's a 10 kilogram drum, which means that it's plenty room enough to fit loads of washing in. So as you can see, it's much bigger than your standard washing machine and it's much bigger than the one I had before. Okay, so the next wash that I'm going to do is a load of towels. So I just want to show you exactly how much, so you can see how much I can fit in a basket that will go in the machine. If I show you here, I've got a full length flexi basket full of towels, which I normally would have had to put over a couple of washes. And that's full of towels, but there's still a little bit of room, but enough for them to move about. You close it and you click. At the bottom here you have the option to change the temperature and the spin cycle. So if the preset is not exactly what you want, you can change it here, which is quite handy. But this one is set at 20 and it doesn't move, but you can alter the spin if you like, but the maximum this one will go to is 1000. Now a few of the settings here will only go to 1000. I think the cotton one and some of the hotter ones will go to 1400, but actually I found that 1000 is more than enough to spin the washing. It gets it really dry. If you do need to actually spin it a little bit more, it really won't take, it takes 10 minutes just to spin it again, so it's not really much to add on to your washing time. So for the towels here, I think I might just go for the Active Eco one here, which I said is 20 degrees, but it works to the temperature of 40. So that is 1 hour 36. It's at 20 degrees and it's at 1000 RPM. So basically once it's in, all you do is just push the touch button to start and it starts. So it's automatically, door's locked, and then if you want to, you can put the key lock on. So what is also quite handy, if you have toddlers or children that quite like to come along and fiddle with the buttons mid-cycle, and you might come along and find that your washing's finished early or it's been changed to a completely different cycle and it's been in there for hours. So once you set what you want, all you need to do is just push and hold these two together and then you get this little key symbol. So it means if they come along and fiddle with the buttons, they won't be able to change any of the programs. The thing you can do is you can still turn the dial and turn it off, which would just turn the machine off, and then you'd obviously need to turn it on again to get the cycle going, but it just means that nothing can be altered. It can't be turned to a really hot wash without you knowing about it, so that's quite a useful feature. So one of the features that I thought was really good before I got this machine was the fact that it's an innovative machine and you can connect it to your phone with an app, with what's called a wizard app, and that means that you can control the machine with your phone, and it means it also stores information about how many loads you're doing, how much you're filling it, what the average temperature is, how efficient it's being. So it's designed to make life easier for you and for you to gauge what you should be using more. It gives you the average length of cycles. One good feature is that you can even download different cycles for different types of fabric, clothing. So you can download those so you can use them on your app and it will tell the machine to do that. You can set the times whenever you want for the machine to work, which I think is quite good. But considering you can actually set this machine with a 24-hour delay anyway, I don't see why you probably wouldn't do that anyway. I wouldn't use my phone, I would just use the machine, but it's an option there if you want to. It's quite good. So that is quite good. The only difference is it's okay if you have an Android phone that has NFC connectivity, which I don't. I have an iPhone, and I was surprised that it's not compatible with an iPhone. You can download the app from the App Store. It shows you how to connect it, but it doesn't give you all the features. I've downloaded the app, connected it, and it does nothing. It shows me nothing. It doesn't pair with the machine. I don't know how you're supposed to get it to work. So that is a real downside for me. I don't quite understand why you wouldn't make it work with an iPhone, considering there's an awful lot of iPhone users. So that's one feature that sadly I can't use. I probably would use it if I had it. It'd be quite interesting, and there'd be quite a lot of information on there, I'm sure, but I can't use it. So if it's something that you're looking to use for this machine, if you've got an Android phone that's compatible, then you'll be fine. But if not, until they decide to enable it with iPhones, it's not really much use for me. One clever thing about this machine is the fact that it weighs your clothes when you load it, so it knows exactly how much water to use so that it's energy efficient and cost efficient for you. So for the purpose of ending this review, I've just paused the cycle. You just literally touch and hold and it pauses. So if you do need to stop it for any reason, you can do. So this has met all my expectations for a large drum washing machine. I've wanted one for so long, and it has been very efficient and easy to use. It's relatively quiet. When it spins, it doesn't move about very much. I've had machines before that have started to move around in the kitchen. This one, although enclosed, it doesn't really move and it doesn't really bang too much, so you don't actually hear too much, although I can close the door in the utility room here so we can't hear. But yeah, it's not particularly noisy. It looks nice. I like the chrome finish. Yeah, so again, the only negative is the fact that I can't use the Wizard app with it, which would be handy, but I've got along before without using apps with machines. It's just a nice feature that would be good to use, which I think should be rolled out across all phones really. This has made life easier with us being a family of 5. We do go through a fair bit of washing, so I don't think I could go back to having a smaller drum now. In fact, it has a really big drum to cope with all of our washing is the major bonus. I don't think I could go back to having a smaller drum now, just because it takes so much longer to do the washing. So the drum is a brilliant size. It means that also I'm not overloading, which I used to do before because I used to try and cram as much as I could in. So this, I'm sometimes struggling to actually fill it. So you know that it's going to be working more efficiently than being stuffed with clothes. Sometimes the detergent wouldn't move around properly and it would come out on the clothes, so then you end up having to rinse it and spin it, so you're wasting more time and more energy by doing that. This means that I'm using it as I should be with the machine. I'm finding all the washing I need to, I'm keeping on top of it as well, and it's efficient to use. So yeah, this gets a big thumbs up from me, yeah, I actually quite like washing, so it makes my job even better.